This is nothing like I remember it.
How quickly a crown can lose its luster.
Not abandoned, then.
Oi! Visitors!
Apologies. We'll show ourselves out. Or not.
I've only ever seen one man fight like that. And he's long dead.
Then perhaps it's time you joined him.
The blessing of the Phoenix. It can't be. I was there when you died. Huh? Forgive me, my lord. I knew not whom I addressed. You have naught to fear from us. Founder, it really is you.
It is. So wait.
We can speak inside.
And those who wouldn't bend the knee?
We left before the Empire could make examples of us, though we didn't go far. And we banded together to form the Guardians of the Flame soon after. Alas, there is only so much a handful of aging shields can do against the might of an empire. But we've seen to it that their stay has been anything but pleasant. Of late, though, we've had our hands full just trying to keep the Duchy's few remaining bearers out of the Imperial's clutches.
The Cullings. We saw what happened in Old Hill.
Aye. The foul work of the Black Shields and their mistress.
You mean my mother? But it doesn't make sense. Even knowing what I know about her. Her hatred for bearers was no secret, but she wouldn't have been ignorant of their value to the realm.
No offense, my lord, but in case you haven't noticed, the Lady Annabella couldn't care less about the realm. She barely even cares for her own home. That much has been plain since the slaughter at Eastpool. And, since granting the Holy Emperor a new heir, her obsession with bearers only seems to have grown. As to why, I don't know. Maybe she can't bear the thought of anyone having the power to challenge her beloved son.
Her son.
Sir Wade, the Black Shields have broken camp. They march in full force for Buick Bridge.
Then so do we. Make ready. This is their main host. If we remove the head, perhaps we can prevent what happened at the docks from happening somewhere else. If I do nothing, then the blood of their next victims will be on my hands.
Yours and ours. We too have witnessed the crimes these men who dare call themselves Shields have committed in my mother's name. It cannot be allowed to continue. We must put a stop to this madness.
We must. So let us go with you. For the good of Rosaria.
I was hoping you'd say that. Very well. If that is your wish, I would be honored to serve at your side.
And we at yours.
So, Wade, let us do our duty.
With pleasure, my lord.
I imagine this endeavor will require more than just our wits.
Then let's hope Sir Wade has a good quartermaster.
Dead.
We'll show them that
You're telling me that's the Archduke's son?
You are welcome to what little we have managed to salvage. Of course, my lord. As you wish, my lord. Our thanks, my lord. I'm sure that it will prove useful. It has been an honor.
Tell us then, Sir Wade.
Nothing fancy. You, Lady Jill and I make for sensing an opportunity to end the Guardians. The Black Shields will call for reinforcements. Who will be met? This will allow us to wage battle on the bridge without... While the Black Shields have an advantage in numbers, you see, they prefer to fight in small units, which...
How small
Small enough. Now that I have you and Lady Jill for company.
But until we arrive, that was your plan.
Sir Wade,
Very good.
as you command.
Thank you, Sir Wade.
There is but one thing which will... Putting an end to the...
And so we...
May the blessing of the Phoenix go with you.
How long have you been pursuing the Black Shields?
Since they burned their first village. We tracked down the bastards responsible and fed their corpses to Stillwind. Suffice to say, that got their attention. It's been a game of cat and mouse ever since.
Yeah!
Look at me sideways. Come along now.
The bastards are lucky I didn't.
There they are. On your command, my lord.
What is it now? I told you!
We bear a message for the Vicereine. From the Guardians of the Flame.
Ha! You presume to tell us that a pair of filthy vagabonds could guard aught against the might of the...
Die!
For us area!
Your petty revolution ends here. On these our swords we swear.
Bloody hell! Reinforcements from the far bank!
Another wyvern to fight their battles for them.
More dragons.
Worms. The Imperials aren't taking any chances. I can't say I'm flattered.
A noble stand, albeit a misguided one. In taking it, you have but proven our point. That this land is in dire need of cleansing.
That's better.
There's no one left to keep them occupied. We need to finish this.
We'd finish him.
I don't see any more.
It did. We sent every last one of the... Perhaps this will be enough to stop the color.
Perhaps. She'll move swiftly to see her.
And then it will... I often wonder if the nation we once knew is gone for good. her fields rot. We battled to preserve the flame that was, but for every foe we fell, and yet be that as it may, it is still our home, and we must. For as long as the Firebird's flame burns in our hearts, the Duchy cannot die, and her loyal subjects may dream of a day.
So, Wade.
Think we should fall back to Port Isolde before the garrison sends reinforcement? A sound strap.
And how long has my uncle been funding you and your comrades and...
Since the beginning. Lord Byron was the first person I turned to after forming the Guardians. And had I known of this tunnel back then, I wouldn't almost have been hanged by the city guard for...
I suppose a formal request.
And appearance. Were the Vice-Regency to catch wind of Lord Byron's involvement in our movement, where he would be of no use, and so, though it sickens him to the soul, he plays the part of the loyal lord, knowing that it is why he remains ever vigilant. Don't be surprised if he refuses you an audience.
Then I will have to think of a way to prove that I am neither wraith nor wrongdoer.
I might have something which could help. It's the mark of the Guardians. Display it, and those who love Rosette.
I shall wear it with pride.
Be sure that you do. I don't want my men attacking you. If only Sir Tyler could have been here to see you.
Thank you, Sir Wade. If there is ever...
I know.
How accommodating. Do you really think they believe we are who we say we are?
Not a chance. All right, I guess. My uncle believes we're imposters here to rob him. And means to string us up himself.
Imagine my surprise when I was told my nephew had come to visit. Clive Rosfield died long ago. And for uttering his name here, you shall pay with your tongue! You would mock me as well?
It is I, Sir Crandall of Camelot, loyal servant to Her Serene Holiness, Saint Sybil the Unshod. Meadow, thou vile sorcerer, for thy crimes against church and crown, I shall have thy head.
Curse thee, infectious flax wench. Even in death, must thou plague me still? Very well. I shall open the gates of hell that thou might see thy charge once more.
Bravo, Uncle. You're still the finest Maddo in the twins.
Oh, Clive, my dear boy, it's really you. You always were fond of that scene from The Saint in the Sanctuary. Never did let me play Sir Crandall.
I have a favor to ask, Uncle Byron.
Rutherford, inform the kitchens. There'll be guests. We dine immediately.
But, Uncle...
You can't very well regale me with the tale of your miraculous preservation on an empty stomach. Go on, sit. See that you use the good plates, Rutherford. So you arrived late to one of her cullings, did you? Since becoming Vicereine, Annabella has been a constant thorn in Rosaria's side, but these atrocities are a new low. Something has changed. Quite what, I don't know, but the woman we knew is gone, and a monster sits in her place.
A monster.
For better or worse, I've been charged with governing this town, and thus must maintain the illusion of obedience. That's all I can do to aid Wade and his merry band of revolutionaries.
So he's told us. You have risked much for Rosaria. Our nation will be forever in your debt.
It has been 20 years, Clive. The nation your father and your forefathers fought to defend is no more. Perhaps it would be otherwise had I the courage of my brother. All right, if it's a ship you require, a ship you shall have. I've a galley in port, but recently relieved of her cargo. She can be outfitted for the voyage in a matter of weeks.
So you believe us, then? About everything?
Believe you? Ha! Only a fool would believe even half of the things you claim. But until tonight, only a fool would have believed my nephew still lived. And besides, I have it on good authority that Clive is telling the truth.
Whose authority?
On your own, of course. You've always been a terrible liar.
Is that true?
It's not untrue.
Let's say no more about it, eh? It wouldn't do to linger on my nephew's greatest failing. The one thing I cannot believe, though, is all this about you being Sid. You were always such a good boy, but now you're quite the outlaw. Which, if I'm not mistaken, would make me an outlaw's uncle. Right then, who shall we pillage first? Rutherford, fetch me my cutlass. This will be fun.
Over there. Go on.
She's a fine ship, isn't she?
Once outfitted, she'll bear us across the boiling sea to Drustinus in the space of 3 days.
Something on your mind?
monsters. When I served the Iron Kingdom, I did so because I saw no other choice. Because once they learned that the lash would not move me, they turned it on those who could. And so I became their puppet. I let them pull my strings, telling myself it was not my hand that swung the sword, but another's. I removed myself from the truth so I wouldn't feel the pain it caused. And before I knew it, I no longer felt anything. Anything at all. I had become a monster.
Jill.
I don't want to be a monster, Clive. Do you understand? I want to choose a different path, a better path. To live on my own terms. But before I can do that, I need to come to terms with my past.
And when you do, I'll be standing there with you, just as you stood with me.
Thank you, Clive. I must atone for my sins. Only then, when it's done, will the monster cease to be.
Just promise me that you won't die with it. Now, let's get some sleep. The journey back to Benamir is long, and there is much to tell the others. Only the Founder knows what awaits us in the Iron Kingdom. But Vivian could probably make an educated guess.
Typical nobles.
How did we never
There are
hear
new
about these
billets
Guardians
being
of the
posted
Flame?
Clive!
Is something wrong?
It's Blackthorn. He ain't him, and if I'm honest, he ain't been for a while. Normally it only takes a couple of drinks to perk him back. Something's getting him down. It's like he's lost his spark, you know? But I'm thinking he might if we both bent his ear, because he was...
Fine. But if he doesn't want to talk, we let him be.
All right, now, he'll only smell a rat if we both turn up at once. So, I'll go first, and you wait a bit, then head...
Clive! Anything catch your eye? Always something, isn't there?
How may I help you today, Clive? Your benefactors are a generous lot. All yours. You've already got that one. Best of luck out there, Sid.
Part of me thought Drake's head might be the last crystal we ever cracked.
A journey by sea can be just as dangerous as one over land. Make sure you've plenty of people wounds on hand, or you'll be bleeding from your gums before the iron have swallowed them.
There's many a man and maid who'd gladly welcome young Cole down there.
Think you might read it to me?
Back again, Lord Rosfield. I'm touched that you should find me...
It is not your company, but your counsel.
Ever the charmer. What will it be today, then?
The Iron Kingdom.
You'll soon be setting sail for Drake's, the mother crystal that rises from... There was a time when a true-blooded Rosarian had only to brave the waves to visit it. But then the Ironblood made their move. As you know, the Iron Kingdom rules over the islands to the west of Storm. Or rather, its church does. But this is not the pragmatic approach to state religion employed by the Holy Empire to manipulate the masses. No, the Iron Kingdom is the literal embodiment of the crystalline orthodoxy. And so, if one is to understand it, one must start there. As the name implies, the orthodoxy holds the mother crystals sacred, and they do not take kindly to heathens plundering the objects of their worship for the means to fill washtubs and light lamps with frivolous feats of magic. Indeed, the faithful consider ether a sinful thing, a poison no less. And to them, a dominant is an instrument of evil, albeit one they have proven only too happy to turn against their enemies. Some 80 years ago, in Northern Storm, Drake's eye collapsed. Soon after, in pursuit of ether, and with the Blight at their backs, the Northern Territories descended upon the Grand Duchy of Rosaria. And when the Shields of the Flame marched north to meet them, the Iron Kingdom spied an opportunity. A few short days later, the Crusaders landed on the island of Mount Justanus, home of Drake's breath, and plucked it from the Duchy's grasp. Rosaria tried to reclaim it, of course, but to no avail. I doubt more than a handful of Duchy men have set foot on its shores in your lifetime. Nor are they like to again, under the Empire's stewardship, meaning the Iron Blood will keep their island, and with it, the foothold they need to march on mainland soil when next they spy an opportunity. The Mother Crystal is both the object of the Iron Blood's worship and their gateway to the continent, making Drustinus the holiest of holy grounds, from which the Orthodox Crusade shall one day sail forth to claim the remaining
My father and my grandfather both had things unfolded differently at Phoenix Gate. We would have sent her in.
But instead, they sent their fleet against Rosaria. I'd say you'd be forgiven for wanting a little...
But not much else to do here. Let's see if Jill's ready.
I could have sworn we had a few. That monster's taken quite a liking.
Is it business? Or pleasure?
Finished, are you?
What's it got to do?
August was worried that something had been weighing on your mind. I thought you might want...
I told you not to stick your nose in my...
Clive just wants to help, innit? Talk to him. You know, please, mate.
It's not the sort of thing you bother...
Why don't you tell it?
Karen and I have an arrangement. I keep an eye on Goots, and she shows me what the competition's up to. Interesting. Anyway, the other day, she shows me a cuirass she's come by. Master... Made my stuff look like heavy. I should have brought the bastard thing there and then just to study it, but I was too proud. And now there. You got what you came for.
All right. I always thought of old Blackthorn as a bit of a force of nature. Didn't think anything could rattle him.
Blackthorn's always taken pride in his craft. Something to... If he has doubts, it will affect his work, which will only add to his problems. We need to nip this in the bud.
I couldn't agree more.
He said he should have bought that cuirass. Perhaps we should track it down for him. Assuming you're happy to help, that is.
Too bloody right I am.
Glad to hear it. First things first, then. We need to speak to Karen.
Back, are ya? What's saying for you, dear? That it? Fine. What do you need? I always thought I could see... Oh. Good seeing ya.
Karen, Blackthorn mentioned that you'd recently come by a leather cuirass.
And he ain't been himself since he saw it.
Sorry, sold it. Didn't think Blackthorn cared for it the way he turned it, but it was nicely put together, that's for certain. Even if the bloke who made it makes all his stuff to order.
You don't know where we might find...
Like I said, he's a bit of an odd one. We don't trust hunters neither, which...
I see.
He did tell me, apparently, his next commission's for a...
Here, there's a griffin on the hunt board. Now, where the bleeding hell was it sighted? Somewhere in...
Thank you, Karen.
At least you would...
So, it sounds like going after that griffin might be the best chance we have.
I'll leave the hunting to you if you don't... While you get on with that, I'll ask around the markets. See if...
Good idea. I didn't take you for...
Oh, this? I borrowed it from old tomes. Seems there's no creature in the realm so foul. Oh, where's your sense of adventure, Sid? Honestly, one from spit roasts to...
If it's...
Well, I'm no hunter, Sid, but you're made of sternest. Fantastic!
So...
chances... The only problem is that while the recipe is extremely detailed, a beast, no doubt, most likely something that...
Does the book say anything?
Well, only that the sweetest violets...
Roses. One of the butchers in Martha's Rest might know something.
Thank you for sticking with us.
Those of us who are still here have to look after each other.
Ah, welcome.
Unwanted violets.
Boy, I haven't heard folk call them that since you're looking for scorpion to used to chuck them even if they
do the...
I dares.
Thank you.
Stay sharp. We don't know when those bastards will be back.
I'd be daft to stay. Don't you go causing any trouble.
This is no time to ride. Come on.
Yeah!
Scorpions. At least I know what I'm up against.
Enough.
I better get this back to Yvonne before it goes bad. Griffins don't... Ugly make for easy prey. Let's hope our craftsman hasn't bitten off more than he can chew. Is something there, boy? Could that be our man? Are you all right?
That griffin caught me before I could get an arrow off.
More likely that...
The name's Camille.
Not so lowly from... Do you remember selling to him?
Bought a cuirass from me after I lost my buyer. Didn't stop her bartering.
It's not her.
Well...
You should be. He's a...
Blacksmiths are proud folk. It's a rare thing indeed for one to praise a glorified tanner, and I don't imagine an impressive sort. I'd dearly love to help. Actually...
What is it?
Treated leather. Same stuff I use. If your man's as skilled as he...
You sure?
Well, and thanks to you, I'll be going home with all the griffin hide I can carry. Short of showing him how to...
In that case?
I'd be much obliged. Right. You send your blacksmith.
Will do. Hopefully this will sweeten Blackthorn.
Did you?
I didn't.
Marvelous! Let's... I present. Grab a spoon, Sid.
I'm...
Well, it'll be two... Odin's teeth! What a... And yet... It takes a moment to... I must share this gift. I won't. A single mouthful.
I'm...
Monster's taken quite a liking to Lady
And with a bit of luck. How'd it go, Clark? Did you find him?
I found him. And he asked me to give you this.
You joke.
He said he wouldn't teach you how to work it. but that if you were as skilled as you sound...
So that's his secret. Good few times, too. Oh, and that's no ordinary oil he's used to get that. Oh, this is...
Yeah? I'll take your word for it. Here, Clive.
Camille,
I thought there ain't many leather workers in the realm daft enough to do their own huntings. Turns out he's from Tabor. And again, most leather work. But our friend Camille guards a long-held family secret.
Then we better keep this...
Listen, sorry for putting the both of you to all that trouble. Still,
That was the idea. Clive's idea, anyway.
It's good to have you back.
just don't expect me to go. There's a reason he does his own hunting. He knows exactly what hides to look for. And don't get me started on how much oiling. I reckon I can make something about as good. Something a curse breaker will have no... Anyway, enough narrowing.
Looks like we won't be...
As if there was a better one. I wouldn't have been the same anyway. Right, now that's sorted. Thanks, Clive.
Clive? What do you want? Anything else?
It will be over soon.